Hello everyone and welcome to Visa News Daily, your essential roundup of the latest news and updates impacting visas, immigration, indefinite leave to remain, and citizenship in the United Kingdom. The UK Home Office has put in a policy that is leading to the cancellation of indefinite leave to remain for the children of skilled workers, effectively telling them to leave the country their parents have been contributing to. So, here's the new deal for skilled workers in the UK. Come to our country. Work in our most vital institutions, like the NHS. Pay your taxes. Follow all the rules. And as a reward, the Home Office will deport your children. Sounds insane, right? But that is the terrifying reality for a family, right? An NHS nurse and her lecturer husband were just sent a letter ordering their two young sons, aged 8 and 11, to leave the UK alone. The reason why this happened will make your jaw drop. It's not a crime, it's not a mistake. It's a deliberate rule that is so backward, it's almost unbelievable. In this video, we're breaking down the exact policy that's tearing families apart and what it means for every migrant in the UK. I will read directly from the source and will explain to you better. Before we get in it, if you are new, please make sure you subscribe to our channel for upcoming updates. So, let's get straight into it. A Brazilian mother and father have been left distraught after being told by the Home Office that their young children have no right to stay in the UK and should return to Brazil alone. Guilherme Serrano, 11, and Lucas Serrano, 8, have spent most of their lives living in the UK with their mother, Ana Luisa Cabral Gouveia, a senior NHS nurse, and father Dr. Hugo Barbosa, a senior lecturer in computer science at the University of Exeter. But while the parents can continue living and working legally in the UK, the Home Office have sent a letter saying the children have to return to Brazil. What you've just heard is the core of this family's nightmare. We have two children, Guilherme, who is just 11, and his younger brother Luca, who is 8. For children of this age, the UK is essentially their home. They spend a majority of their lives here. Their mother, Ana Luisa Cabral Gouveia, is a senior nurse in the National Health Service, the NHS, an institution the UK holds in very high regard and is consistently in need of skilled professionals. Their father, Dr. Hugo Barbosa, is a senior lecturer at a prestigious university. These are not people who are a drain on the system. They are highly skilled individuals who are actively contributing to British society, to its health and its education sectors. The most shocking part of this first paragraph is the sheer cruelty of the Home Office's directive. The parents who are here legally and are valued professionals are allowed to stay, but their two young children are being ordered to leave the UK and return to Brazil, a country they barely know, and to do so alone. This is what the term distraught in the text barely begins to cover. Imagine being a parent and being told that your children must be sent away to another country without you. It's a scenario that most of us would consider unimaginable. This isn't just a bureaucratic decision, it's a decision that tears a family apart. The letter from the Home Office isn't just a piece of paper, it's a state-sanctioned separation of a family. Now, it is even more chilling. It warns him that staying in the UK illegally could lead to him being detained, persecuted, not being allowed to work or rent, and having his driving license taken away from him. Gouveia said, "I could not in a million years have seen this coming from the Home Office. This letter from them makes me feel as if my kids are criminals. Since I came to the UK in 2019, I have worked for the NHS, paid my taxes, and done everything correctly. The children do not read or write in Portuguese, nor do they speak the language fluently, according to Barbosa." He added, "The Home Office is saying, let's just kick two happy, healthy children out of the UK. Going back to Brazil would disrupt their emotional and social stability. The children are already experiencing anxiety due to the uncertainty about their future." Let's break this down because the implications are staggering. The Home Office sent a letter, a formal government document, addressed to an 11-year-old boy, Guilherme. This letter contained threats that are usually reserved for adults who have broken the law. It warned him of detention, prosecution, and future restrictions on his ability to work, rent a property, or even get a driving license. Think about the psychological impact of that on a child. He is being treated as a potential criminal by the government of the country he calls home. His mother's words, "This letter from them makes me feel as if my kids are criminals," are incredibly powerful and accurate. She has followed all the rules, worked for the NHS, and paid her taxes, yet her children are being criminalized. Furthermore, the children's connection to Brazil is tenuous at best. Their father states they don't read, write, or speak Portuguese fluently. Forcing them to return to Brazil would be like sending them to a foreign country where they cannot properly communicate or integrate. This isn't just a matter of changing schools, it's a fundamental disruption of their entire lives, their emotional well-being, and their social stability. The anxiety the children are already experiencing is a direct consequence of this Home Office decision. It's a manufactured trauma inflicted upon a family that has, by all accounts, been a model of integration and contribution. The father's statement that the Home Office is essentially saying, "Let's just kick two happy, healthy children out of the UK," is a stark and accurate summary of the situation. So, how did this happen? The next part explains the bureaucratic trap this family fell into, which will be lost. If my ex-wife and I were still together, none of this would have happened. It seems that the Home Office doesn't like divorced couples. The family's difficulties with the department have arisen because the parents divorced a couple of years after arriving in the UK. They remain on amicable terms and co-parent 50/50. Gouveia and the children arrived in the UK as dependents on Barbosa's visa, but after the divorce, she secured a new skilled worker visa in 2020. Barbosa was granted indefinite leave to remain in 2024, something Gouveia is not yet eligible for, as she has only been on her current visa since 2022. Currently, people on skilled worker visas must wait 5 years before applying for indefinite leave to remain in the UK. According to Home Office rules, both parents should be granted settlement at the same time or be settled or a British citizen, unless one parent has sole responsibility for the upbringing of the children, which is not the case here. This is where the cruel absurdity of the rules becomes crystal clear. The family's problem is that the parents divorced. They have a healthy, amicable co-parenting relationship, sharing responsibility for their children 50/50. But in the eyes of the Home Office, this is a fatal flaw in their application. Let's trace the timeline. The family arrived in 2019, with the mother and children as dependents on the father's visa. After the divorce, the mother, being a skilled NHS nurse, secured her own skilled worker visa in 2022. This is what a responsible person does. They ensure they have a legal right to remain and work in the country. However, this action reset her clock for applying for indefinite leave to remain, or ILR, which is the right to settle permanently in the UK. The father was granted ILR in 2024, but the mother won't be eligible until she has completed 5 years on her current visa. And here is the catch-22. The Home Office rules for a child settlement state that either both parents must be settled at the same time, or one parent must have sole responsibility for the child. Because this family has a modern, healthy co-parenting arrangement, they don't meet either criterion. The father's poignant observation, "If my ex-wife and I were still together, none of this would have happened." It seems that the Home Office doesn't like divorced couples, hits the nail on the head. The system effectively punishes them for having a responsible and amicable divorce. It's a rigid, inflexible rule that fails to account for the complexities of modern family life. The father even mentioned that the Home Office implied that if the mother had abandoned the children, they might have been eligible. This is a system that perversely incentivizes family breakdown over responsible co-parenting. So, what can we conclude from this? The case of Guilherme and Luca Serrano is not just an isolated incident of bureaucratic error, although thankfully, after significant media coverage and public outcry, the Home Office has agreed to exceptionally reconsider their case. It is a stark illustration of a wider systemic issue. The topic we set out to explore, UK Home Office is cancelling ILR of children of skilled workers and asking them to leave the UK, is not hyperbole. It is a reality for families caught in the unforgiving cogs of the UK's immigration system. This case reveals a system that appears to prioritise rigid, box-ticking exercises over compassion, common sense, and the welfare of children. The Home Office's initial decision to separate a family, to threaten an 11-year-old with detention, and to suggest that children who have grown up in the UK should be sent to a country they don't know, all in the name of maintaining effective immigration control, is deeply troubling. It shows a profound lack of humanity. The UK actively recruits skilled workers like nurses and academics to fill crucial gaps in its workforce. These individuals come to the UK, contribute their skills, pay their taxes, and build their lives here. They bring their families, with the expectation that if they follow the rules, they will be treated fairly. Yet, as this case demonstrates, a simple life event like a divorce can trigger a catastrophic and cruel response from the very government that invited them. The fact that it took media pressure and the intervention of a Member of Parliament for the Home Office to even reconsider its decision is also telling. It suggests that without public scrutiny, this family, and likely others in similar situations, would be left to face an impossible choice. Either the parents abandon their careers and lives in the UK, or they are forcibly separated from their children. This story should serve as a wake-up call. It raises fundamental questions about the values that underpin the UK's immigration policies. Is the goal to attract and retain the best and brightest? Or is it to create a hostile environment where even the most law-abiding and valuable members of society live in constant fear of having their lives torn apart by an inflexible and heartless bureaucracy? The case of the Serrano family shows us that the latter is tragically the reality. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share and subscribe. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a conversation that needs to be had.